Welcome back to Pickles. This is episode 6. I'm back with a new batch of situations you need to either talk your way into or out of. And quick reminder, I am not here to give advice. There's plenty of advice givers out there. I don't have the moral authority to give advice. You shouldn't even give it to me. No, I'm here to offer a service. It seems wrong to me that when a corporation gets itself into trouble, they can hire an expensive PR firm to talk their way out of it. But when regular people, salt of the earth, like us, like when we get into a pickle, where's our spin doctor? Where's our talking points? Where's our manipulators of messages? Well, good news. You've got me. Am I qualified? Don't ask. You're not paying for anything. All right, let's go with our first pickle. What do I say to my girlfriend to convince her that eardrops do not cause permanent and full hearing loss? Okay, trick of the trade here. Whenever someone's worried about something being bad and you try to argue that it's going to be not so bad, it never works. You've got to flip it. You've got to say that eardrops grant her super hearing, or at least super enhanced hearing. I'll just say, no, it can't. There's the liquid in there. And you'll say, listen, hon, sweetie, think about dolphins, right? They're mammals like you. They're empathetic, highly intelligent like you. They have incredible hearing. Why? Water's in the ear all day long. Think about mermaids. Amazing hearing. Do you think Ariel could have sung like that if she had any kind of hearing problems whatsoever? Actually, probably all of Atlantis did pretty well considering the entire city was under the sea. No hearing problems whatsoever. Though probably actually in retrospect, there were a lot of sinus complaints in Atlantis just by virtue of location. In fact, probably most of the physicians in Atlantis were ear, nose, and throat. Not by choice. That wasn't what they wanted to specialize in. Maybe something else, but every patient comes in saying, Doc, something's wrong. Well, let me guess. Pressure? We're under the sea. No shell, Sherlock. Anything else wrong? Don't say crabs. It's just how it's going to be. Try that. See how it works. Next one. This is a perennial problem, by the way. What can I say to my book club to get them to actually read the book? Again, very difficult. Long-standing problem. First thing I want to say, though, we need to get this out of the way. It's very easy to bemoan the number of people reading, right? That's just dropped off somehow. And it's true. There's good reasons for that. That said, if you zoom out, look at human history, kind of the graph of number of people who read books, it's very, very low, right? And then it picks up maybe around the printing press. Then around the 1980s, it spikes. Why? Because for the first time in human history, you could get a personal pan pizza for reading books. Of course it's going to spike. If you lived through it, you know what I'm talking about. Then, of course, by the 90s, it drops right down again. What is that? Is it the internet? No. Most people would say it is. Actually, it's the rise of thin crust pizza. The pan pizza couldn't compete. There was no reason to read anymore. But what can you say to your book club? All right. Being judgmental never works. You can't make people feel bad about reading. They're just not going to do it. So what you should do is invite them to the book club just as normal and say, hey, everyone, I know a lot of us have super busy lives. We didn't maybe get a chance to read the book. I still very much want to hear your thoughts in this kind of open, safe space. Just FYI, though, about 20 minutes in, I'm going to have to go into the other room because that's when we're going to launch Club Libro, a premium book club for people who've actually read the book. It's got a full bar. It's got a DJ from Italy, DJ Maximo. Actually, he's from Croatia, but just say it's Italy. People have got masks on, but kind of slim ones, so you can wear bifocals over it. There's going to be a bouncer who's going to ask 2 questions. 1, why does Joan hide the letter without reading it in chapter 7? And 2, what is the symbolism of the dried tulip all about? Try that. That should work. All right, next one. What do I say to my brother to let him know he doesn't have to hold his 9-month-old like a football? Okay, again, I got to get this out of the way because I'm going to hear about it. It should be noted, you can research this, that the football hold is a clinically recognized breastfeeding position. Okay, it's used extensively in the NFL. Now, obviously, you can use it. There's other positions there. Calling it football hold, that is very North American centric. In other parts of the world, obviously, they use their feet to do the same thing. But what can you say to your brother? Well, let me guess what's going on in the situation, because I don't think it's that. Let me guess. He was the star of his high school football team, wasn't he? He was just the star of his entire high school. He never lunched alone. He never showered alone. He never let you forget it. Did he attend your cello recital? No. He was too busy basking in the Friday night lights. But now what? It's like 10, 12, 15 years on. He's run out of excuses to just mention he was on his high school football team. He's hoping that someone's going to say, hey, judging by the way you're carrying that baby, did you play football? And he'll pretend like he's surprised, like, what? Huh? Me? Muscle memory, I guess. You tell him you see through him. You see right. We all see through him. Tell him if he wants to hold the baby like that, he can go down to the high school, go to football practice, walk up and down the sidelines as a kind of cautionary tale about reproductive responsibility. Coach would appreciate that. You'd probably get a letter. Okay, next pickle. What do I say to my coworker who stares at me for 5 minutes before starting a conversation? Yeah, that is difficult. No question about it. I'd say, though, being stared at is tough because we don't have much practice. Right? Back in the old days, people used to sit still for portraits all the time, for hours, right, to be painted. I don't know that I could do that, right? To sit still, surrounded by fruit, wearing armor, on horseback, constantly worried that the horse is going to eat the fruit and ruin my painting. By the way, this shouldn't be a controversial statement, but horses ruin things. That's why they're never invited to social events. Once I was bitten by a horse on the bicep. I mean, obviously, he was jealous. He could tell I played football. And that's actually most of the reason why I'm wearing armor in the portrait. I'd like to see a horse bite through Spanish steel. But what should you say to this coworker? All right. Well, ideally, you wouldn't say anything. Ideally, you'd do the mature thing. You'd order off Amazon or somewhere some adhesive beauty mark and then just put it somewhere and wear it for 1 full week. Don't mention it. And then every day after that in the morning, move it somewhere else on your face. The first few days, the staring will increase, but I guarantee you, by day 7, you will not be made eye contact with at all by anybody. But as far as what to say, I think you got to say it head on. Or you got to sit them down and say, hey, listen, it's really clear that you're falling for me. And don't blame yourself. It happens all the time, right? There are entire municipalities in Iowa I can't visit for fear of inciting a riot. But let me tell you, these cheekbones are not worth throwing your life away for. And I just have to believe there's someone out there happy to stare at you for 5 minutes before speaking. And then sort of peel off the beauty mark and put it in the palm of their hand and close it. And that should just about do it. I'd be surprised if they stare at you for 5 minutes after that. Okay, that's all the pickles I've got today. If you've got any situation you need to talk your way into or out of, leave it in the comments of this video. Maybe I'll pick it for next time. And I'm absolutely so grateful to all these that are coming in. So drop me a pickle. Happy to help you out of a jam. Until next time.